Welcome to Shadow Watch, where the dark tells tales too strange to silence. Imagine this: Arizona's endless dunes, sand stretching under a burning sun, but at night, whispers rise, voices from nowhere calling your name. Since the 80s, campers hear them, some never return, lost to the desert's hum. Tonight, I'm guiding you into those whispering sands, where the wind carries more than dust. Ready to listen? Stay sharp, because this true story will make you question every breeze you feel. It began with Riley, an amateur geologist chasing rare minerals, and her friend Nate, a stargazer, camping in Arizona's Sonoran Desert in '87. They picked a spot near the Whispering Dunes, a sea of sand locals shunned, claiming voices lured folks away. Riley dismissed it as wind tricks, betting Nate she'd record the hum for proof. But that first night, under a starlit sky, the dunes weren't silent, they were alive with sound. Their tent glowed faint from a lantern, the air dry, heavy, as Riley set up her recorder near a jagged rock formation. Nate peered through his telescope, joking about aliens, but the quiet felt wrong. Too thick, too still. At dusk, a breeze stirred, carrying a low hum, like a distant chant weaving through the sand. Riley grinned. Told you, just wind. But Nate frowned. That's not natural. The hum grew, words forming, soft, overlapping. Come, come. And the sand shifted, rippling under their feet. Slow, deliberate. Riley checked her recorder, its needle spiking, catching whispers now. Stay with us. Clear as voices in the tent. Nate swung the lantern, shadows dancing, but nothing moved. Only the sand, swirling in patterns, circling them. A chill crawled up Riley's spine, the air buzzing, and the dunes glowed faintly, a shimmer under the stars, like eyes waking up. Nate whispered, "We're not alone," and the telescope lens fogged, clouding over, its metal cold to the touch despite the desert heat. They packed to leave, Riley grabbing her gear, Nate kicking sand over the fire, but the whispers sharpened, "Don't go," and the tent flaps rustled. No wind, no breeze. The recorder clicked off, rewinding on its own, playing back their voices, distorted, pleading, "Stay, stay." The sand rose, a wave cresting toward them, and shapes flickered, tall, thin, shimmering, vanishing when Riley blinked. Nate grabbed her arm. "Run." But the dunes hummed louder, the voices echoing inside their skulls, pulling them back. The lantern dimmed, its light swallowed by the dark, and the sand parted, revealing footprints. Old, worn, leading nowhere, circling their camp. Riley's recorder hissed, static twisting into a laugh, low, endless, and the dunes closed in. The whispers now a chant, "You're ours." The air thickened, the stars fading, and the sand swirled faster, a wall rising around them, trapping their shadows. Riley's hands shook, the recorder slipping, and Nate's telescope fell, lens cracking on a rock. The voices grew louder, insistent, weaving their names into the hum. "Riley, Nate, stay." This wasn't a campout, it was a call, and the sand wouldn't let go. "Hang on, because those whispers are just warming up." Riley's breath caught, the sand wall rising higher, its hum vibrating through her bones as the whispers chanted, "You're ours, stay forever." Nate yanked her back, the tent collapsing under a wave of dunes, its fabric vanishing into the swirl. The air thickened, stars fading to black, and the shapes flickered closer, tall, shimmering, their outlines bending like heat waves, eyes glinting faintly in the dark. Riley's recorder screeched, static twisting into her own voice, "Don't leave." And the sand shifted, swallowing their footprints, erasing their path. Nate swung the broken telescope. "We've got to move." But the dunes pulsed, a heartbeat underfoot, pulling them in. The whispers sharpened, weaving their names, Riley, Nate. And the sand parted, revealing more footprints, dozens, circling, leading back to nowhere. The hum spiked, deafening, and the dunes glowed brighter, a shimmer spreading wide, like a net closing. Riley grabbed her bag, the strap snapping, and the recorder fell, sinking fast, its red light blinking once before disappearing. Nate shouted, "It's alive!" as the sand surged, a tide rushing them. and the shapes solidified, gaunt, faceless, their whispers now a roar, come deeper. They ran, boots sinking, the sand sucking at their legs, slowing every step, the hum drilling into their skulls. The shapes followed, gliding over the dunes, their outlines flickering, never fully there. Riley tripped, crashing into a hollow, and the sand parted. Old gear, rusted cans, a watch still ticking, relics of others, whispering, "Stay with us." Nate hauled her up. "Don't look." But the dunes shifted again, a ravine opening, its edges glowing faint, the air buzzing with static. The whispers turned to laughter, endless, echoing from below, and the shapes loomed closer, their eyes sharper, unblinking. Riley's lungs burned, the ravine stretching wide, and Nate pushed her. "Jump." They fell, sand rushing past, landing hard on a slope, sliding deeper. The hum softened, the whispers fading, but the dunes above closed, sealing them in. Darkness swallowed them, the air cold, damp, and a new sound rose, a low chant. "You're here," from everywhere. The sand walls shimmered, faces pressing out, lost campers, mouths moving, silent, and the shapes descended, surrounding them, their whispers now inside. "Never leave." The dunes weren't just sand, they were a trap, and it had them. Riley scrambled up, sand sliding under her hands, the faces in the walls staring, their whispers weaving, "Stay, stay," a chorus in her mind. Nate grabbed a rock, swinging at the shapes, but it passed through, the air rippling, their laughter echoing louder. "You can't fight us." The chant grew, the walls tightening, and the dunes hummed, a pulse shaking the ground. Riley's flashlight flickered, its beam catching the shapes, taller now, their outlines sharper, eyes glinting like stars in the void. The air buzzed, heavy, and the sand shifted, revealing a tunnel, dark, endless, whispering her name. She froze, the chant hypnotic, "Riley, come." And Nate shook her, "Don't listen." But the voices pulled, soft, insistent, tugging at her will. The shapes glided closer, their forms shimmering, and the tunnel glowed, faint, inviting, the hum sinking with her breath. Nate yanked her back. "We're getting out." But the sand surged, a wave crashing over them, dragging them deeper. The faces pressed harder, hands forming, reaching out, and the whispers turned to a plea. "You belong here." The tunnel's light flaring, blinding. They tumbled, the sand swallowing them, the tunnel stretching, walls alive with eyes, faint, glowing, watching every move. Nate clawed the ground. "Keep going." But the hum roared, the shapes circling above, their whispers now a scream. "Stay forever." Riley's vision blurred, the light ahead pulsing, and the sand parted, tents, bones, gear, all shimmering, whispering. We stayed. The tunnel narrowed, the air cold, thick, and the shapes descended, their eyes brighter, locking onto her, pulling her thoughts apart. She staggered, the hum in her chest, and Nate's voice faded. "Riley, no," as the sand rose, wrapping her legs, holding tight. The faces smiled, welcoming, and the tunnel's light flared, revealing a cavern, vast, dunes upside down, whispering endlessly. The shapes loomed, their voices hers now. "You're us." And her eyes burned, glowing faint, the desert claiming her. Nate grabbed her, dragging her back, but the sand tightened, the whispers laughing, no escape. The dunes weren't a place, they were alive, and she was theirs. Riley's legs sank deeper, the sand gripping tight, the whispers roaring. "You're us, stay forever," a chant pulsing through her veins. Nate clawed at the dunes, dragging her back, but the hum spiked, deafening, and the shapes loomed closer, their eyes glowing brighter, unblinking, weaving her name into the air. Her vision flickered, the cavern spinning, upside-down dunes swaying. Their whispers now her own voice, soft, hypnotic, "Stay here." The sand surged, a wave crashing over Nate, pulling him under, his hands vanishing as the whispers laughed, endless, triumphant. Riley's eyes burned, glowing faint, and the tunnel walls shimmered, faces pressing out. Campers, wanderers, all smiling, welcoming her. The shapes glided near, their forms solidifying, tall, thin, shimmering like mirages, and the hum synced with her breath, tugging her will away. She staggered, reaching for Nate, but the sand parted. No trace, only his telescope, lens cracked, sinking fast. The whispers turned gentle. "You're home," and the cavern flared, light pulsing from below, revealing more eyes. Hundreds, glowing, watching, waiting. Riley fell, the sand softening, cradling her, the hum a lullaby now. "Never leave," and her eyes glowed brighter, vision stretching. Dunes above, towns beyond, all whispering back. The shapes knelt, their eyes locking with hers, and the cavern trembled, dunes shifting, sealing the tunnel shut. She stood, the sand lifting her, her voice joining the chant, "Stay, stay," and the desert stretched endless in her mind, alive, hers. A hiker's light flickered far off, real, and she turned, the whispers urging, "Bring them." Her steps silent, purposeful, the dunes parting for her. The night swallowed the camp, the dunes silent again, but Riley walked, eyes glowing, the hum inside her, a hunter born from the sand. The whispers spread, soft, ceaseless, calling new names, luring new souls, the desert growing with every step she took. The dunes weren't a trap, they were a voice, and she was its echo, forever lost, forever found. So, that's Arizona's whispering curse, folks. Dunes that don't just hum, they claim. Hear that wind yet? Smash that like if you're still above ground. Comment, ever camp too close? And subscribe to Shadow Watch for more. Share this with a desert dreamer, or don't, if you're too spooked to let those voices follow. See you next time, unless the sand calls first.